Yo, what is up YouTube? It's GGS Out and I'm back with another video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be doing another story time. This story time, if you cannot tell, this story time, so it's about when I was, I believe, a senior in high school, and like right here, I busted my eye open. That's why I look like I have an eye patch on in the thumbnail. That's the real picture of me on a bus, and I was miserable. I was like this. So cover your eye. And if you sit like that for about 2-3 minutes, imagine going to school like that. Imagine going home like that. I think I had that like gauze on for, I'll say about 2, 3, 4 days maybe. I don't remember exactly, but it was pretty, like, it was miserable, honestly. So, let's get on with the story time. So, I go to my second period, which is gym, and been told we was playing flag football. You know, everybody's like, yes, we get to go outside, we get to play flag football. Well, actually, I believe that we got the pick, actually, if we want to go outside and play flag football or stay inside. I think it was like basketball inside or something else. I believe we got the pick, actually. We was getting the pick, I believe, and I got the pick outside, or the teachers picked for us, and I went outside. We're outside playing football. Flag football. This is all I remember. All I remember was a kid catching a pass, I believe, or running the ball, and I remember I was trying to reach for his flag, so I was like leaning in, trying to reach for his flag to pull it out, and this is all I'm gonna say. This was not on purpose. This was just a freak accident, and oh my goodness. So, it was a freak accident. Completely a freak accident. I believe when I was reaching for the flag, I think I put my head down too far, to reach for the flag, and I think the kid accidentally elbowed me because he had the ball and he was running like this. And I just remember my head getting the worst headache that I've ever had. Still, from that day, that is still the worst headache I've ever had. I just remember getting a bad headache, and then this eye, it just started hurting for no reason. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then all I remember was doing this. I just remember going like this. I held my eye for probably about 30 seconds to a minute, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I fell on the ground. I get up, and I went like this, and I was blinking my eyes to try and, make sure I could see really good. And then I just remember people were coming up to me, asking me if I was good, and I was like, man, I don't know, honestly. I have a huge headache, and as soon as because I went like this, and I took my hand off my eye, and as soon as I took my hand off my eye, everyone circled around me. It's like, oh, whoa, he needs to go to the nurse. His eye's busted open. I didn't know, like, it wasn't my eye. It was, like, right below my eyebrow. It was, like, from my eyebrow to, like, probably about the middle to about, it went like this. So, I just remember the kids was like, he needs to go to the nurse. He's gonna have to go to the hospital probably. His eye's busted open. And in my head, I'm like, my eye? My eye? And in my head, I'm like, I can see perfectly fine. I ended up, like, looking at my hand. My hand's covered in just blood. This side of my face was bloody. It was the first semester of senior year. So, I believe we had the choice to wear a mask or not in my senior year of high school. Anyway, I had a mask on. That was bloody as heck. And then, I remember the gym teacher, both the gym teachers have walkie-talkies for anything like that, if someone needs to go to the nurse real quick or anything like that. So I remember the gym teacher walking into the nurse, was like, hey, I have a student that needs to come to you quickly. His eye, above his eye's busted open. He's bleeding really bad. When I'm walking into the school building, in my head I'm just like, oh my gosh, am I going to pass out from losing too much blood? All these things are just going through my head. I'm freaking out on the inside, but I'm not showing it. I get to the nurse. She ends up giving me a little bit, like, enough gauze, but she didn't have anything like the hospital had. So I just remember, she's like, can you hold it there for, 30 seconds while I get some tape? I'm like, yeah. So I held it there like this. After that, she said, I'm going to call your parents, let them know, you need to go to the hospital, get stitches right away. I remember I believe it was the teacher that had called in of the walkie-talkie that I needed to come to the nurse because my eye's bleeding. I believe he had brought my book bags, or a student did or something. You know what? I think it was actually the student that accidentally elbowed me and asked me if I was good. I believe that's what it was. I think it was the student that accidentally elbowed me. So I ended up going. I ended up getting picked up by my mom. I ended up going to the hospital, and they did stitches. Well, when they were okay, so they had to numb me to do the stitches. When they had to numb me to do these stitches, they obviously had to use, a needle to numb me. And I believe it was right here. I believe the doctor was either almost done or the doctor had just started. But I believe it was like right here on this side. Because, mind you, this part of my eye is literally split open. It's like split open. So he's literally having to numb me, put a needle into my wound, and oh my gosh, it hurt. But I don't remember how many times, if it was the first time that he had to, stick me to numb me. I don't remember if he was just getting done, just getting started in the middle of it, whatever. He ended up putting it right here, in like the very far, my right, your guys' left, and he ended up hitting a blood vessel. As soon as he hit that blood vessel, he said, "Oh, we're going to have to redo that spot, but we're going to have to give it like 2 to 3 minutes, possibly 5 minutes." And in my head, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I understand you're a doctor. I understand that doctors do make mistakes. But in my head, I'm just like, the only reason in my head I said, are you kidding me, is because I wanted to get all this over. I wanted to get the numbing over. I wanted to get the stitches over. And I just wanted it to be done at the hospital. I hate going to the hospital. I hate going to doctors. The doctor ended up numbing me all over again, completely. Ended up doing it 3 more times, and that was a success. Then he started stitching me up, and then after he stitched me up, he told me like, hey, be careful with this. Just, take it easy. Don't try to do anything crazy. I believe he said for like a week. He asked me if I was still in school. I said, yeah. I think he said like for a week, if you're in gym, do not play any, contact sports. If you're just walking in gym, that's fine. But don't play any contact sports where this could, reoccur. The stitches can come back open. I'm like, okay. So basically in gym, like if you didn't do what everyone was doing, you had to walk around the gym. I came in with a note saying like I couldn't play for a week or a week and a half, however long it was. And I remember gym teachers like, oh, okay. And in my head, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you really thought I was going to be good? You didn't. You've seen it with your own 2 eyes. You know I was going to have to get stitches. And you were like, oh, okay. These stitches were actually the dissolving kind. Like, I don't remember. I've never had stitches in my life. That's the first time that I've ever had stitches in my life. I don't remember if it was the string that they put in there that dissolves. But I don't think it was, because I ended up going to the doctor, getting the stitches out. Like, I don't know. I don't remember. But all I remember was I actually ended up going back to school that day because I wanted to get all my work from my previous classes that I'd missed because we was in last period, and I didn't want to, go to school the next day and get all my work and then have 2 days of work or homework to do. I ended up getting my work, and then I ended up going to my last period. I gave the front office person the note basically saying like, yes, I was at the hospital and I'm able to return back to school. I asked her if I could get a pass to every class that I had missed so I can get my work so I can catch up. She said yeah. She just asked me what classes there were. I told her. And then I get to my last period. Nobody in that class knew what had happened, so they all asked me like, you good? What the heck happened? Like all this. And they actually most of them actually asked me, why'd you come back to school? And I told them, I'm like, I didn't want to miss any classes. I wanted to come back and my work from the previous classes that I missed before this one so I can catch up. I remember going home that same day, and oh my gosh, my eye got worse. It started swelling up. At one point, my eye was so swollen it was like this. It was like closing, and I'm kind of freaking out, but I'm not really showing it. So, I was freaking out, but I wasn't really showing it because, like, in my head, I'm like, it's going to be swollen most likely. You just had an accident at school. As the swelling started to go down, I wasn't freaking out as bad. But it was a crazy time. It was a freak accident, though. I'm glad it's over with. That's what I was saying. I'm very glad it's over with. That's the end of this story time. Hope you guys liked it. And like I said, this thumbnail is, yes, it's the actual picture of me. That is the actual, like, I call it an eye patch because it was over my eye and everything. It's the actual eye patch that the hospital gave me, and that's a picture on the bus in the morning going to school. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, turn on bell notifications so you know whenever I post, and share this video with people that you may know, co-workers, friends, family, sisters, brothers, nephews, nieces, whatever the case may be. I'll see you guys in the next one. GGS out.